Test, test.
Lights on.
Test. And then we'll have you go. Just in what?
Good afternoon, everybody. It is April 22nd, 2026, 5:02 p.m. And I would like to call to order the Pinole Community Services regular meeting. Okay, let's do a roll call.
Thank you, Commissioner Butler,
Present.
Commissioner Cornejo Ayers,
Present.
Commissioner Enriquez,
Present.
Commissioner Teller.
Present.
I would like to note that Commissioner Martin and Commissioner Ojeda are absent today.
Okay, and we can move on to our reports and communications. So we don't have a report, do we? I don't have anything to report. So any commissioner announcements? Announcements for you guys? Okay. And then we'll move on to public comments. Do we have anybody in the waiting room?
We have no public comments online and none here in person.
Okay. And then we'll move on to, I don't believe we have any recognitions for today. So we can move on to new business. And can we get a motion to approve the minutes for our last meeting, March 25th?
I motion that we approve the March 25th minutes. I second.
Okay, approved. So I'll hand it over to Maria to talk about our community service day tasks.
Thank you. So this evening, I wanted to just provide an update on Community Service Day and the task for that day. The event will take place on Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Pinole Youth Center with projects set up throughout the city. So I wanted to just share with the commission about just what the day looks like. This will be a first event for some of you. So our day starts over at the Youth Center at 7:30. And from 7:30 to 8:30, it's event prep. So during that time, we'll have Commissioner Martin setting up the registration table. We'll have Commissioner Ojeda setting up the breakfast table. We'll have Commissioner Cornejo Ayers setting up the project list. Commissioner Enriquez, he will be setting up our welcome signs and getting that together. And then Commissioner Butler and Commissioner Teller, you guys will be supporting with our project supplies and kind of getting everything ready for that day. And we'll spend the first hour. We'll also have staff there to support from the Public Works Department and from Community Services to get everything ready. And once we finish our prep, we will kick off with registration. So we'll have a registration table, and we'll have Commissioner Martin, Enriquez, and Teller registering the participants during that time. So we'll kind of show you on the day of, we'll show you the registration sheet and everything so you're familiar with it. We'll have Commissioner Ojeda supporting with the refreshments and snacks during that time. And then Commissioner Butler and Commissioner Cornejo Ayers, you guys will be overseeing the project list and kind of helping our volunteers and guiding them through the projects that we have prepared for that day. We are still working with our Public Works team and our Community Services team to identify that project list, so that will be final and we'll have it ready to go. And then we'll have, so all commissioners on the day of will have a project site that you guys will be assigned to, either a project site or supporting with, sometimes we have late registration that happens. So we'll kind of split that up. We'll share that with you on the day of, just kind of where support is needed. And then we'll come over, projects will take place from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then at 11 a.m., everybody will return over to the youth center for lunch. So our team will have everything ready to go, and lunch will be served on the patio and in the meeting room.
And then just for, thank you, Maria, for that breakdown. So that way it really identifies, just to prepare commissioners where they are going to be that day. The intention of this day is really to help the city of Pinole with 3 volunteers to help with the things, the beautification of areas that are needed around parks and facilities. And so we've looked at things such as Amber Schwartz. We've looked at areas around Louis Francis. Fernandez Park is our main hub of park projects. We've also looked at areas around the trail. So working with Public Works to identify that. So what happens is when commissioners arrive and volunteers, they will be able to go straight to that site location, and then materials are already there. So if a shovel is needed or paint is needed, all of the supplies will already be there. The tape, water, of course, snacks, of course, and things like that to really get through that project, but really having volunteers lead those spaces for the help of the beautification. And so we do open it up. We have opened it up to the public to send in anything, whether those are projects that we can do with volunteer capacity. If they are things that require staff capacity or like power tools, we technically wait to do that with our Public Works team only, just because of liability reasons. But if it's things like painting our park benches to give them a good refresh, which happens every year, those are things that we're able to, we buy the paint, we get it all set up, we have the tools there, and it is a great beautification project. So just giving kind of a concept of some of the things that we look at for that day. So if you have anything that you are thinking of, I know we brought it up at the last meeting, we're more than happy to take a look at areas. We have a pretty extensive list right now, but we're always looking for projects just to make sure we have an ongoing list of things that we can take care of for the community. Any questions?
Would it be possible to see that list beforehand and then to be able to figure out what our interests are? Understanding that that's the list that needs to get done, it would be helpful to be like, oh, I have an interest in gardening, or I'm really good at this particular thing. So we're not.
We don't publicize the list beforehand. If there is something specific that you would like to chat about, we definitely could chat with you directly, but we won't publicize the list beforehand because it is also about the materials that we're able to get. It's really with Public Works to decide what's the most reasonable that we can get to. This all has to be supervised and monitored also by Public Works staff and city staff, and commissioners are hand in liaisons in doing so as well. So if you have a vested interest in a certain area, I will say, now that you said garden, we are one of the projects this year, it's brand new, so sorry, Maria, I'm going to lay this one out there. The Caretaker's House, which is something that has been unoccupied. It's not an open space for the public, but in front of the Caretaker's House, which is located where the dog park is, if anybody is familiar or not, we have rose beds that are there. And so those rose beds are actually very much so weed eaten and it's overgrown. And so this year we actually have it on our projects list to take a look and de-weed and beautify up that area as well. So if there are certain interests like that, feel free, we can connect you with that project. Like we have some of those in mind because we know those are going to happen, but the bigger ones at other sites we aren't sure of. So we can definitely discuss that, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So, what is the outreach for this looking like? I know that I feel like Debbie would be able to give more insight on like what the Rotary team is doing for outreach to like students. I know because I work with Pinole. If you guys are aware, have they already reached out to at least the principal or to the campus to inform them about how they can help with this?
Yeah, so all of our outreach does include passing those on to the schools. Liaisons, Debbie was able to go to the site before. I don't know to what extent her conversations was, but after that is next on our agenda to talk about school sites. But additionally, we have it on our website. We also will put it on social media. We have it in our newsletters that go out to our seniors. So our standard modes of communication are the same through the Pulse, which goes out through city channels. And so those are ongoing for all of our events. Like we've done the egg hunt, which reaches thousands. This one is really more hands-on, so you will see not as many people that come out for like eggs and treats, which are really fun for the egg hunt. But we are looking for people who would be able to do that. So we don't have to have, just to be clear, we don't have to have specific people. If you have an interest in reaching out to groups that you know or clubs that you know, feel free to do so. You can do so even if it is doubling up of school sites. That's completely fine.
Okay. Additionally, like, are the activities, or rather the projects, are they all for all ages? Is it like, are there things that like kids can do? I know people might want to bring their kids, or childcare is a concern for those that want to attend. Is there activities that may be able to be done by young kids, or has that not been decided yet?
Because this is something that is staff initiated, ones that staff would have to assist with, we don't have childcare as an option. This is something that would need to be done with an adult. So if it is somebody who is under 18, they will need to be there with an adult as well to guide for liability, especially because these are projects that involve materials that need adult supervision.
Would there be any way in that case to have some kind of like waivers? I know that like when, I know that a lot of parents maybe just want to drop off their high school student and just like leave them to do something. I know that they're definitely some of the people that we want to engage, at least to get them some experience volunteering. Would there be any mode for that? Like to, I know it's like kind of a liability issue too. Has that ever been done before?
So we've had like Boy Scouts. So the Boy Scouts have come out with their youth, but there was a troop leader that assumed responsibility and liability. So that would have to be set up if they were going to do that, because that still is that one person that is taking responsibility for that group. Because we also have to think of, we can't stay after, for example, if somebody's not there to pick them up on time, and so we can't do that. So if there's a contact that wanted to bring a club and they were the responsible adult signing off for liability, that's the registration table. There are liability and waiver forms. So if there was an interest, somebody could reach out to us saying they have a group, like an environmental group, and they're interested, or Earth Team that was interested, something like that. That would work, but not to be able to, for one person to assume that of people that are joining that day. That would have to be set up previously.
Okay, thank you.
But it has been done before, and it's been done very successfully. So we are interested.
Okay, beautiful.
I have a question. So using that example, so for us, it probably doesn't make sense for us to bring our children, given that we are kind of on the clock, if you will?
If your children are of the age to help you with that project, you're more than able to do so if they're able to help you with those projects.
Okay.
Yeah, we can chat. And then we do have a public comment.
So caller ending in 5748. You may unmute.
Yes, I was trying to tune in earlier for public comment, but was this discussion on the Earth Day activities?
No, this item, sir, is for the Community Service Day tasks.
The Community Service Day what?
tasks, assignments, tasks.
Oh, I see. Oh, that being said, I would like to add that they add to the list that with or without the help of our city's public works department, the task and the city should include on their list work in and around the Bayfront / Bologna Park at the foot of Tenant Avenue around the wastewater treatment plant, and the whole perimeter there needs some work, and it doesn't seem till we have some kind of major issue or problem with the county fire department putting the kibosh on our fireworks show in the last several years that cost our city close to $50,000 to $75,000 for either canceling the fire marshal, canceling the show because of the overgrowth of dry shrubberies, dry palm tree fronds, and overgrown manzanita shrubberies, which are like trees now. And that also is a safety hazard because people either walk into them or they trip on them on the crosswalk and pathway. And if you go around the perimeter in several areas, the perimeter around that trail around that park and point going northeast, where there's a unimproved part of the trail, which is the dirt road that runs parallel to the creek there that runs all the way up to the senior center. It's an unimproved walkway and pathway, and they need to add to the list that they need to get public works, and that should have been their infrastructure job, if not under the direction of one of your department heads to fill in the giant sinkholes out there, or they're like the size of a small compact car. They're like about 3 or 4 big mud puddles right now, and then they remain when they get evaporated out. But you know, they're like about 3 to 4 inches deep, and people shouldn't have to be on a roller coaster walk when they're trying to walk that trail. So maybe they can get somebody out there from Public Works to do that, if not the public to help as well to fill in those potholes and maintain the shrubberies there, and also to get right along the
Okay, so any last questions at the 3-minute mark? Speakers are ended, but are there any other questions for Community Service Day tasks? All right.
Okay, then we can move on to old business, and I'll pass it to Andrea for community outreach.
Yes, thank you. So we are just checking in, seeing what status looks like, seeing what responses have been from our school sites that we've reached out to, if the commissioners have had any luck, any conversations. We're really engaging the relationships between our commissioners as our liaisons for the schools, so wanting to do a check-in publicly to see what that looks like for everybody. So if we could just go around, if you would like Chair to ask each one of the commissioners, and then we can just have a conversation.
Yeah, so I just recently reached out to Shannon Elementary, so that probably wouldn't, unless they're really quick to respond, then that hasn't happened. But I did reach out in an unofficial capacity to Pinole Valley High School's principal to talk about the other business, about some of the programs that are being ended there, which I didn't get a response from. So, when Chair Heda comes back, we could see where Pinole Valley is with her engagement there. But I could pass it off to you guys.
I'm happy to go. So I did reach out. I haven't had an official response yet. to Pinole Middle School and the principal, Mr. Nayak, and I did have a brief conversation with Office Manager, Ms. Vasquez. But their priority now is the merger right now, so that's what they're kind of focused on. But the principal, she did indicate that she would also follow up with the principal to have him respond to my outreach to see if there's anything that can happen before the end of the semester.
Great, thank you.
I have not been able to reach out to Ella Horse. Ella Horse has been on vacation for a portion of the time, and then I was gone. When we were reaching out, though, when I wrote this script, I'm assuming it's just for principal. It's not for like principal or PTA or any other school-based affiliation. It's just principal.
Yeah, we want to establish it with the school site is first and foremost before we reach out to their PTA.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
I tried reaching out, have not heard back from Collins, though I have informally spoke to other parents as we queue up in the line, letting them know about various events coming up.
Great. Thank you so much. And part of this is showing the outreach is nicely reflected on our side. And sometimes the schools just aren't really prepared to receive it. So whatever information that you guys get, please feel free to pass that along, share that with us as we continue the relationship building with each of the schools within Pinole. So thank you for doing that. Are there any questions about, Commissioner Enriquez had hers. Is there any other question about reaching out, contacts? Thank you for sharing again, especially with the events coming up. And then I am going to list this under community outreach. So we do want to just formally announce as well. Previously, we have had our events for Juneteenth and Pride. So the Juneteenth Pride event has been held on in June, reflective of what we've done for both the LGBTQIA community as well as our Juneteenth holiday, which we have in June that we celebrate. So June 6th this year will just be the Pride celebration. So it will no longer be the Juneteenth Pride celebration. It will strictly be a Pride celebration. So that will happen on June 6th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So at Fernandez Park. And then we also want to announce that we will separately have a Juneteenth celebration held on June 14th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Fernandez Park. So flyers and social media posts will come around shortly as we are close to that date. But we have just officially decided to have 2 events in June for each one of those celebrations. So wanted to make sure to just provide that outreach for the commission.
Just want to say I'm super glad that that's happening. Thank you.
I believe that's. Is there anything, any more announcements for old business, or we could wrap up there? So, if there are any further comments, anything anyone wants to announce before we end, I guess we could adjourn to our next meeting, which is May 27th, 2026. And a motion to adjourn. Right? Okay.
I second.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.